Thank you very much, Chair. I'll be splitting my time 3 ways. My questions are through you to the Minister. Minister, what percentage of pre-qualified IT contractors have no technical abilities like the 2-man basement headquartered admitted fraudsters GC Strategies?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. As I have mentioned numerous times before, that this particular case is under investigation, and it would not be appropriate for me to comment on that. Thank you.
The Honourable Member.
Through you, Chair, to the Minister, that's an unacceptable answer. I am not asking you about criminal proceedings. I'm asking you about your department's failures to enforce the rules that are specifically under your mandate. You refuse to answer my first question. My next question through the Chair is, on what basis was GC Strategies, who had no technical capabilities, pre-qualified as an IT contractor based on the rules set out by the department that you oversee?
Not illegal. The Honourable Minister.
Spend 100 hours in committee on this issue?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I thank my colleague for this question. As I said numerous times, that there are rules in place and rules are being followed, and this particular case is under investigation, and it is not appropriate for a minister responsible for any portfolio to comment on those cases which are under.
What's not appropriate is for a minister to refuse to answer questions when the opposition is looking to determine if we can have confidence in his department when they're looking for $222 billion in new spending authorities, which is the exercise that we have this evening with this Committee of the Whole. My question through you, Mr. Chair, to the President of the Treasury Board is, how did Treasury Board, your department, allow payments of $60 million for what is known to be the Arrive scam to be paid to GC Strategies without documented deliverables? Through you, Chair, to the Minister.
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Canadian elected us to work together to deliver the priorities that most important to Canadians. Canadians sent us, and tonight, Mr. Chair, I would remind my colleague that we are here to debate or ask questions on main estimates. Let's talk about that main estimates. National defense spending, investment in national defense. Let's talk about.
How many times was GC Strategies awarded contracts through Treasury Board approved processes?
Honourable Minister.
Chair, thank you, and I request that if allow me to respond to question. A main estimate includes.
Member.
Through you, Chair. Minister, you failed to answer even simple questions when I've given you ample time to do that. Does the Treasury Board have any mechanisms that are in place to make sure that work is completed before payments are made?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, we have a robust mechanism of rules in Canadian government, and rules are being followed.
Honourable Member.
Were the rules followed in this case?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, a main estimate 2025-26 Indigenous Service.
Treasury Board employee face discipline in this case.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, we are here to discuss main estimates.
The Honourable Member.
Will you table a list of all firms that are currently pre-qualified to do IT work?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, again, if you have the same question, I'll have the same answer. We're here to discuss main estimates as top.
Member.
With $222 billion in new spending authority requested by the President of the Treasury Board Chair, it's absolutely unacceptable that he came this evening without any information. One final question through you, Chair. Was the Minister ever briefed on the Arrive Can scandal?
Honorable Minister.
Chair, I would expect that I will have a time to respond. The main estimate includes 100 and...
Lapsed to provide an answer. Resume proceeding with debate. The next member is the member for Sherwood for Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask the Minister, does he think that people who work for the public service should be able to work as external contractors at the same time as they're employed by the public service?
The Honourable Minister.
Are they recording something? Yeah. One of them are actually recording.
The Honourable Minister. I have the Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Just a concern in regards to a member is actually recording what's taking place. I see a member holding a phone.
So just to address the point of order, order. I can see very clearly that there are timers being used by different parties. The Parliamentary Secretary will come to order. The Parliamentary Secretary will come to order. Order. Both sides will come to order. The rules are being obeyed. There are no pictures to be taken in the House during this time period. I have seen no pictures being taken. There are just timers being used. The President of the Treasury Board.
Mr. Chair, I would request my colleague to repeat the question, please.
I'm proceeding to the next question now. The Honourable Member.
Does the Minister think that people who work for the public service should be able to work as external contractors at the same time as they're employed by the public service?
The President of the Treasury Board.
Thank you, Chair. As you know, there's a rules in place and there's a conflict of interest rule in place, and I expect everyone abide by those rules.
The Honourable Member.
Thank you, Chair. It's just a really simple question about the Minister's philosophy in terms of how he thinks things should work. Does the Minister think a person who is employed by the public service should be able to simultaneously work as an external contractor? It's the third time I've asked the question. Could the Minister answer? Does he think that's appropriate, yes or no?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. All public servants must follow conflict of interest rules. As a condition of employment, all public servants must adhere to the directive on conflict of interest. They must identify and address the situation of real, apparent, or potential conflict of interest. As of October 2024, all employees must reach...
Honourable Member.
Chair, am I to infer from that answer that the Minister thinks there are some instances where it is okay for a public servant to also be an external contractor?
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, through you, I would request my colleague to read what I said.
Here.
All public servants must follow conflict of interest rules. Thank you.
Here.
The Honourable Member.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's pretty clear from that answer that the Minister thinks there are some cases where it is acceptable to double dip as a government employee and a contractor. If he doesn't think that, he can say so, but I think that's pretty troubling. Another question, does the Minister think that companies who do work for hostile foreign regimes should also be able to simultaneously do work for the Government of Canada?
Minister.
Mr. Chair, again, I would refer back to my comments that my colleague should look into that, read it. All public servants and the companies must follow conflict of interest rules, and there is a robust rules in place in every department. And
Mr. Speaker, the Minister didn't listen to the question I asked. He repeated his non-answer from the previous question. I invite him to come up with a new non-answer to the new question.
He's got a new page.
The new question was, and I'll repeat it, does the Minister think that companies who do work for hostile foreign regimes should be able to simultaneously do work for the Government of Canada?
Simple Minister.
Mr. Chair, what I can tell you that the government, as I would expect our departments to make sure that we're doing businesses with suppliers of integrity. The government updated its ineligibility and suspension policy.
Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect to the Minister, this is embarrassing, and I would be embarrassed. I'm almost embarrassed for him. Is the government planning a major overhaul of the Indigenous procurement program? Again, is the government planning a major overhaul of the Indigenous procurement program?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, the main estimate includes $25.3 billion in planned spending for Indigenous Services Canada, reflecting a full.
The question again, Minister, is this. Is the government planning a major overhaul of the Indigenous procurement program?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. I understand my colleague wants to get a clip, and he's anxious. The main estimates again includes 25.
Mr. Chair, very respectfully to the President of the Treasury Board, there is nothing virtuous or public service minded about ignoring serious questions from members of the opposition and repeating lines that have absolutely nothing to do with those questions. This isn't a gotcha. This is a basic question of government policy.
It's elapsed for question.
What? Oh, yeah.